Do you constantly, persistently, and maladaptively tend to feel hopeless, helpless, and lonely all your life, or you have been feeling that way forever? Do you feel that the person that you are right now is false and your true self is somewhere lost? And you don't know when or where that happened, but you know that this is not your truest self, this is not your best self. Your innate nature is sad. You don't know what being truly happy really means. You don't know how people are actually happy in their lives, because for you, what you feel is we have an innate self that's sad, and sometimes we laugh and that's fine, but actually you're always sad, and this sadness, dissociation kind of feeling inside of you forever. Is that how you feel? Do you always feel cloudy and nervous, and there is clutter in your mind? Your mind is never really truly clear. You cannot really truly sit down and meditate and be calm, because all your life you have always had cluttered and small bits and pieces of thoughts around your head that never led your brain to actually calm down and sit and be happy and at peace. Well, this means that your inner child is unhealed. I know I am no therapist, and this really deserves a therapeutic treatment, but I am just here to tell you about your inner child, what it really craves, and what you must do now to overcome this feeling of extreme sadness that kind of holds onto you, that deprives you of happiness, that is your innate self. First of all, talking about me, I never knew what it feels like to be happy. I would laugh and find, a kind of smile and everything. But inside of me, I never truly knew what happiness is, what being happy means. And I am kind of still discovering it, to be honest. But it is, it was in fact a surprise for me to understand that your innate self should be happy. There can be moments of sadness, right? And you're okay with being sad at that time. In fact, it's important also to be sad and to cry and all that sometimes. But your innate self, your natural self, has to be happy and at peace, not sad. Not something or some situation is supposed to make you happy. You're supposed to be happy right now at this moment. Okay, so this has to be your natural state of being. An incident or situation may deprive this happiness once and for all, and that's okay. Jealousy, anger is fine, but your innate self is really supposed to be happy. And it was a shock to me to realize that I do not know what being happy truly means for almost a quarter of my life. You know, that was just a small piece of my life that I shared with you. But to be very honest, I think our inner child is a very interesting concept brought up in order to understand true human psychology and how your childhood really affects your adult life. As a child, however your environment was, however your upbringing was in the initial days of your life, truly determines how you act later in your life, how your personality develops, how you react to situations. Really, really comes from how you were treated as a child, and your love language is the same how you were brought up as a child. That's why being a good parent to your kids is so important, and being able to give them good life skills and good teachings is just so crucial for their growth. First of all, inner child is the child that still holds on inside your soul, inside your mind, even though you're grown up and you are an adult, even though you're above 18, or even at the age of 50 or 60 or 70 years. Even you still have an inner child inside of you, and that inner child is the same child you were when you were a kid, and that child kind of grew up to be you. To be very honest, I really think that whatever you are right now is what your manifestation is of that inner child. That's exactly what you are. You aspire to be something that that child wanted you to be. You become a person that that child looked up to. That child's manifestation is your present self. you know if that child wanted to serve others, maybe you're a doctor. If that child wanted to design and do crafts and arts, maybe you're an architect. If that child wanted to help other people, then maybe you're a philanthropist. you know this is how child mind works. Everything you are right now is a manifestation of your inner child. Obviously it doesn't work. For example, if someone asks a child and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor, but then it doesn't work that way because that's what someone else has put into them. But a child who truly says something from their heart, from the level of how they were brought up, from their personality, from their inner self, really actually stays in the subconscious of a person. And that's how you act later in life as well. Inner child is basically a concept brought up by therapists and so many psychologists. But what really is inner child? If you don't like this term, because you think it's a bit alien, if you think it's a new fancy word brought up just for attention, then let me give you a scientific proof of this thing, because I read this somewhere. This one person wrote it, I think somewhere around internet, and it really stuck with me. So I'm going to tell you the same thing right now. This person said that your inner child is a term which is used to make it more easy to understand your subconscious mind. Because if we talk all in scientific terms, then a layman would find it very difficult to understand. So this is what it is really. Your amygdala is something that really controls your emotions, is something that really controls your, holds your emotions and controls it. And holds all the positive and negative emotional reactions that you carry. Now, your prefrontal cortex is your adult mind, okay, in layman's term. Now, whenever you come through a danger, your prefrontal cortex cannot respond. So your amygdala is the actual part of your brain, which is the emotional part of your brain, that takes the driver's seat and actually stands up and does all the work that a brain is supposed to do at the moment of danger. And that is what is inner child, and that is what we want to feed in. We want to grow it, we want to groom it so that it tolerates more, it helps you more, so that you don't get much anxiety, stress, and your life becomes a little simpler. Because when your inner child is horrid, which means when your emotional part of the brain that holds all the chemical hormones that instigates your emotional being is hurt and doesn't work properly, that's when it secretes a certain kind of hormones that, or certain amount of hormones that's not good for you, that can destroy you, that can take you to trauma and depression, and we don't want that. So as adults, we feed our inner child, we heal our inner child. Now, why do we heal our inner child? What is the necessity? And why does our inner child not forget everything? Because we are happy right now, so why do we have to think of our inner child that was sad 10 years ago, right? I will tell you why. Its cause is kind of evolutionary, and I learned this from Dr. Ramani Davasula. She says that the human brain is designed as per evolution, right? Because we all are evolutionary beings. We have come here through years of evolution. So what happens is when we were hunters and we were protecting ourselves from wild animals in the jungle, we used to think of ourselves as how can we protect ourselves from these animals, right? From these bears and cheetahs and lions and tigers, right? So we had to keep in our mind what is dangerous. For example, that tree, the lion comes from that tree, so I have to be away from that one. The lion stays in this den, so I have to be aware from this den. So you don't remember good things, you always remember the bad things. That's how you have been evolved. That's evolution. So when you say, okay, the tiger comes from here, then it saves you. It's actually a good thing. It's a coping mechanism. You're remembering all the bad things to protect yourself from it. So it's not bad. But when that happens, as a result of it, you also remember all the bad things in your life and not really the good things. If you really think about your childhood, maybe you don't, if you have had a comparatively bad childhood, you apparently don't remember playing around or having fun or at least laughing once or twice for that matter, but you always remember maybe being scolded, maybe being beaten up, because that's how our mind is designed. That's how we are. And what happens is when you have ego, your ego tells you, you know what, I don't need therapy. I have no inner child. All this is rubbish. Like, what are you even talking about? What is this inner child and all that nonsense? I don't believe in this shit. These are all these fancy terms and therapists, and this is all like a conspiracy to earn money and all that. I don't need therapy. I don't need a person to tell me how to live my life. I can live my life on my own. I will teach the therapist. I am the one who, I'm not a mental patient. I can take care of myself. I have no trauma. I can handle my trauma. People go through trauma and they heal. There's nothing like depression. These things come from your ego. Your ego is not letting you understand that there is a child inside that needs healing. Like I said, the child is not literally a child. Obviously, it's a symbolic meaning of a more profound scientific fact that I brought forward. But that's how ego acts. Ego will tell you, I don't need anything. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. Coloring, are you mad? Why would I color? Am I a child? And whatever. But when you let aside your ego and actually come to terms with your real self, you understand that how important it is to heal your inner child, because inner child does exist. Now what you can do is you can act like an adult. Like, this is my adult self. I am the adult, but I'm healing my inner child. I talk to my inner child. I am like, there are so many personalities inside of me, right? I am a single person when you look at me, but when it comes to personality, I have maybe 5 different personalities. So do you, so does everybody. So you're not a single personality, you're a single person, but you can talk to your personalities. You can talk to your inner child. You can talk to your adult self. And your adult self can talk to your inner child and tell your inner child that you are important. You are necessary for me. I need you. Thank you for being. Thank you for existing. I love you. You deserve all the happiness in the world. You are beautiful. You are supposed to be so hopeful because you are an amazing person. You're a miracle. You're the best thing that has happened to me. And you're supposed to love yourself and give that inner child lots and lots of love. Because what happens is, if you do not become the father and mother of your inner child, then you seek for an external source to do that. That is the reason why people act so clingy in relationships. Because if you're so self-full, if you're so full of yourself, if you love yourself, if you're working on yourself, working on your self-love era, on your inner child, who needs a secondary person? It's fine to have someone. It's always great to be loved, to be in love, and to have someone. But who really needs it so desperately? One who doesn't have themselves is the one who needs someone so desperately, right? So it's the same thing. You always give yourself out so much to the level of depleting yourself only because you don't have yourself at the first place. And that's why you seek someone else to fill that void inside of you. And I've said that so many times, that when you have void inside of you, when you're not whole, when you're not complete, when you are not working on yourself, when you're not full of yourself, you always seek out for someone else to fill that void. And that never happens. And that's why people always leave, and you're just left with nothing. This is universe trying to teach you. Listen to the universe. Unless you don't learn it, people will keep coming and leaving you. Unless you don't learn to love yourself, this teaching is not going to be stopped. How many more teachings do you still need? How many people do you still want to leave your life? How many more people do you want to come and go and treat you like garbage? How many more cases of the same kind for you to learn? The universe is trying to teach you. Please listen. Universe is telling you, okay, now this is the last time I'm sending this person to you. I have given you all the red flags, all the patterns, and you've promised me that you'll love yourself from now onwards. Okay, take it and show me what will you do with this person. And you're again letting this person come in along with the red flags, and you're going to get hurt all over again. And then the universe sends another person to test you, and then the same thing repeats. The universe sends another friend who betrays you, and you still keep on to that friendship. The universe sends you a guy and tells you, okay, give me a proof that you've healed, and you still show your unhealed version, and that's why he leaves you. And that continues when you do not leave people, and when you do not give proof to the universe that yes, I have healed, see it, I'm leaving this person. That's when permanent, really good people come into your life. Otherwise, you're just gonna attract these negative people and toxic people. And that's the same with your inner child. When you heal your inner child, you demand respect. You do not want to be disrespected. I understand that as a child, maybe you were not given the kind of respect that others were given. Maybe you were always made to obey a senior person to you, and maybe you were always told, you know what, you're supposed to compromise, give it to your younger sibling. I mean, everyone has that somewhere, but when it goes too toxic, when you're made to put others' needs before yours, and where you're kind of forced to sacrifice yourself for the other person, that might have happened to you, and that's why you became this person who always seeked out to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your needs, and work for someone else, put someone else's needs before yours. I understand that might have happened to you, but now is the time to heal. You cannot say you don't know, because there are so many therapy channels online. In fact, even this video is teaching you some things. Understand it. How many more people do you want to leave your life? How many more people do you want to disrespect you for you to understand that this is it? I do not accept disrespect. You are out of my life at the first betrayal, at the first disrespect. The inner child is the part of your personality that is so soft and vulnerable. And now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to teach it. Say it. I love you. I am here to groom you. I'm here to grow you. Let alone whatever had happened to you. I'm sorry about that. But it made you stronger. And now I will not let any disrespect happen to you, not by me and not by anyone else. Let's go through it together. Thank you for existing. I am here for you. Treat yourself like a child, like you would treat a child. Imagine there's a very hurt and wounded child. Would you treat that child how you treat yourself? Never. Never. So why do you treat yourself like that? If you couldn't even imagine treating a hurt person the way you treat yourself, then imagine the kind of disrespect and injustice you're doing to yourself. Why would you say someone else they betrayed me or they did wrong to me. You are doing wrong to yourself. You are not giving yourself the kind of treatment you would treat someone else. And that's so sad. You're not giving yourself the love you would love to give someone else. You know, recently I was watching this video of Osho where Osho was like, love truly means giving and not really receiving. You know, love is really in giving. So give that love to yourself. If it's so much in giving, then give it to yourself first. And that's when you can give it to maybe someone else who deserves it. But first, give all your love to yourself, all your care to yourself, because you do deserve it. I don't know about anybody else, but you deserve the love that you give. You really do. And I really want you to be in your self love era. You know, when I teach about self love, when I tell people to love themselves, someone always pops up saying, that's why you will not find anyone. It's so funny to me when people say you will never find anyone if you love yourself so much. It's like, first of all, these are always the kind of people who end up alone in their lives. I mean, they are the ones who are so miserable and they have never found, you know, the right person, been a friend zone, maybe, I don't know. And they are the ones coming to me and saying, that's why you will not find anyone because you love yourself. What kind of a concept is this? You know, you're saying don't love yourself, otherwise you will never find anyone else. I really don't understand this concept. It's very alien and weird to me, honestly, because I think when you really love yourself, you really attract people even more. When you love yourself, people are really attracted to you. People really want to be with you. That's what I have felt, in fact, quite the opposite. I'm sorry to break your cocoon, Mr. Whatever. But but when you really love yourself and when you demand respect, when you do not tolerate a single disrespect, people are really attracted to you. People really want to be with you. And you find even more people, and even healthy ones, actually, you know. I don't know, but that's how I have felt. And not that you're doing this to attract anybody, but it's just how it is. It's just, I think, human psychology. When you really don't care about other people's validation and work on yourself, I think people find that very attractive, very much. Well, that's about it. So, this was about the inner child, about self love, how you're supposed to love yourself and treat yourself as a child and treat yourself as someone who's hurt and wounded, and with so much kindness and compassion. When the same kindness and compassion you would give to someone else, give it to yourself because you deserve it, you know. Thank you for watching my channel. God bless you, and please keep coming back if you want me to say these things that I feel just randomly, sharing these things with you and developing a connection with my viewers. If you like me, please subscribe to my channel and keep your notification bell turned on so that I keep coming back to your YouTube feed, and leave a comment. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.